Should you scout for Sygna Bede and Iron Valiant? Are they any good? Well, guys, I'm glad that this sync pair is not fairy type. This is a fighting type sync pair with a roll of sprint and an EX roll of special strike. That means once you use your sync move, you will lower your sync move countdown -3. You will hit every single opponent, and this sync pair is available from May 15 until June 1. This sync pair has an exclusive lucky cookie, which I feel is an insult. Vigilance. I mean, the game could have given us something completely different. Vigilance is a very common lucky skill, can be obtained very easily with a creamy lucky cookie, and then they give us an exclusive lucky skill, Vigilance. What the heck? But anyway, that's that. And now let's talk about his kit right now. So this sync pair is the second, guys, the second future Paradox sync pair or future Paradox Pokemon that we have. The first one is Miraidon. Second one is Iron Valiant. So I'm hoping that more of these future Pokemon will come, and maybe hope for an interaction with Florian so that Florian will not feel like alone in something like that. So as you can see over here, stats, attack and special attack stat are 312. Defense is decent. Speed stat really high. If you unlock the EX roll, your attack and special attack stat go up to 352. Now you will know that this sync pair is both a physical and special attacker once we go down to the stats, or once we go down to the moves. But this is a Pokefair, and Pokefairs have Super Awakening. But let's just talk about the Super Awakening passive, which, when you use your sync move, for the very first time, you will turn the field of play into Fighting Zone, and then it will extend the duration of Fighting Zone, as well as at the start of the battle, give you special moves up next and physical moves up next effect +2. I don't care about the physical and special moves up next effect +2. I care about the Fighting Zone though. So that will make this sync pair into a field unit. Because as a sprint sync pair, you get to lower your sync move countdown. As a striker, you get to hit every single opponent. And then this will unlock his field EX roll, bringing in that Fighting Zone. But this will not work the same way as how a field sync pair works, in that the sense that you use a sync move, that sync move is already going to be powered up by Fighting Zone. No, it does not work like that. This one will trigger or activate Fighting Zone after you use your sync move. So it's slightly different from how field sync pairs work. Aside from that, you have Blades of the Future, which if you use Booster Energy, you'll raise your physical moves up next effect and special moves up next effect +3. Given that you already raise your physical moves up next effect and special moves up next effect +1, you'll raise your physical moves and special moves up next effect +4. Which I guess brings us to this. So just by using Booster Energy, if you have him Super Awakened at the start of the battle, just with one use of Booster Energy, you will raise your physical moves up next effect +6 and raise your special moves up next effect +6. And what does that do? The moment you have your physical moves up next effect +6, you'll reduce your sync move countdown -3 with Carve My Name into History. So if you have him EX Super Awaken, a lot of things are gonna happen with just your very first move of Booster Energy. You'll raise everyone's physical moves up next effect and special moves up next effect +6. You will lower your sync move countdown -3. You will raise your special moves up next effect by an additional 3. That means your special moves up next effect will be +9, and then once you use Refined Focus Blast, you'll dish out like super duper strong damage. Speaking of which, let's go back. Elite to an unbreakable elite mentality. When you use an attack move, it will hit every single opponent. So your Refined Focus Blast is going to be 90% stronger and hit every single opponent. And then your stats cannot be lowered. Why? Because you have close combat, and normally your close combat will lower your defense and special defense -1. Your stats will not be lowered. And then aside from that, it will also raise your physical moves up next effect and special moves up next effect +1 when its attack move hits. Now, this is what I'm not sure of. Is it per opponent or is it per attack? Because if it's per opponent, the moment you use close combat, that's a physical attack, you will raise your physical moves up next effect +3, special moves up next effect +3, or is it +1? And then you can decide to just use close combat again. It will eat up your physical moves up next effect, and your special moves up next effect will just raise to +6. Your physical moves up next effect will go back to +3, and if you want to trigger this, you'll have to switch to using Refined Focus Blast instead and something like that. So it depends on how this triggers, whether it's +3 or +1. But then again, if you decide to Super Awaken him, the moment you use Booster Energy, a lot of things will happen. Not only with Fighting Zone, not only with extension of the Fighting Zone after you use your sync move, you will reduce your sync move countdown by very quickly. And then probably you'll have to use the We've Got to Win as well to raise your attack and special attack stat as well as crit, start of the battle, and then let a lot of things happen. So that's that, guys. Strong attacker that hits everyone. And then for this Refined Focus Blast, you get to lower your opponent's special defense -1. This does not have any MP. You can use this an unlimited number of times. Both have 3 move gauges, hits every single opponent, which is very fun. And then the moment you use Booster Energy, you raise your own physical moves up next effect and special moves up next effect +4. That is 4 times 4, 160% stronger damage. And then you have your sync move, which has a built-in effect. The higher your special attack stat is, the stronger your sync move is gonna be. And with a Strike EX roll, you get to hit everyone. You have a Sprint EX roll, which will lower your sync move countdown -3, and then hit every single opponent. And going down over here to our sync grid, at 2 out of 5, you got these tiles: Dragon Guard, Unflappable Turbocharge 2, Shock Recovery 1, and Healthy Healing. And then over here at the bottom, you have Close Combat Move Gauge Refresh 3, Booster Energy MP Refresh 2, which is probably going to be helpful if you want a lot of things to happen. Is this the first time? Increases or reduces the sync move countdown. This is the first time. The first time the physical moves up next effect is rank 6 or higher. But this second one is also the first time. Okay, the first time. But then again, with each Booster Energy, you get to power up your physical moves up next effect and special moves up next effect +4. That's a 160% increase in damage. So over here at the bottom again, we've got to win MP Refresh 2 for maximum physical attack and special attack stats. Refined Focus Blast Move Gauge Refresh 3. 3 out of 5, we got first opponent field and hit physical and special boost up 1/9. When the attack move is successful when there is only one Pokemon on the opponent field of play. What? This is new. So if there's only one opponent in the opponent's field of play, you'll raise your physical moves up next effect and special moves up next effect by 1 rank. Which kind of solidifies my thinking that this is per opponent, guys. I think this is per opponent, so that's kind of like offset for this one. If there's only one opponent left, you'll get another physical moves up next effect and special moves up next effect. Again, I'm not too sure about this one. You have Haymaker. The higher your attack stat is raised, the stronger your sync move is gonna be. And you know, you have brain power over here built in. You have Haymaker over here. A lot of multipliers. I like this. In fact, I think this is one of the better passive, or rather super awakening skills as well. Thank you for subscribing. And then over here, you have opponent special defense down. Sync moves up 9. Powers up the user's sync move when the opponent's special defense is lowered. Nice. Sharpened Mind 9 powers up your moves when special attack stat is raised. Trainer move attack up and special attack up 9 when you use a trainer move. Empowering Command. When you use a trainer move, you'll raise your physical moves up next effect and special moves up next effect. Lots of things. 3 out of 5 over here. Booster energy. Buy 1, get 1, 9. Free move next effect for next. Yeah, first opponent field of, or one opponent field of play, free move next 9. When there's only one opponent, you get a free move next. Hit defense down and special defense down 9 to lower the opponent's defense and special defense -1 every single time you attack an opponent. Again, you can hit every single opponent. Sync burst 1 for you know, when you use your sync move, you will bring in another booster energy, which is another 160% increase. And then sync move, physical boost up 2 and special boost up to 9 to raise your physical moves up next effect and special boost up next effect after using your sync move, and this can trigger an unlimited number of times. So this sync pair is quite nice. You have a lot of multipliers. You have 2 good multipliers. One is built-in, brain power. Another one is 3 out of 5, Haymaker. And then, once you have lowered the opponent's special defense, you have a sync moves up 9. This is a very strong 90% multiplier over here. And then, if I'm not mistaken, does he bring in sync moves up next effect? Well, no, there's no sync moves up next effect. But is there anything else that has something like that? Well, there's none. But if you have him super awakened, which again is super expensive, but if you have him super awakened, he can also bring in fighting zone, and then that fighting zone will be extended. And again, with just your first booster energy, your attack is gonna be just super duper strong, and a lot of things are gonna happen for this sync pair. So this is Sygna Suit Bede and Iron Valiant. I think he's gonna be a very, very strong fighting type sync pair. And despite his special attack stat and physical attack stat just at 352, I think he's gonna be really, really strong. And with that, I think I'm gonna rate this sync pair at, well, at 3 out of 5. I'm gonna rate this sync pair at around 8.5 because, you know, AoE fighting type attacks are appreciated. We don't have a lot of AoE fighting type attacks. And not only does he have physical attack, but also a special attack stat. I'm not a fan of Vigilance, though, as his exclusive Lucky Cookie. And yeah, this sync pair is just nice if you have the funds and the means to super awaken him. He's also a nice sync pair to super awaken. And nice to have another fighting type upgrade, I guess, in some way. Because fighting types, we have some good fighting types. I guess one of the better ways if you want to upgrade this sync pair even more is to give him an ability to make the opponent flinch, just like Ray. But aside from that, this sync pair is not too bad. 8.5 for this sync pair for me. And if you want to scout for this sync pair, let me know in the comment section if you have any other rating for this sync pair. 8.5, is it too high? Is it too low? Let me know in the comment section as well. And yeah, hit the like button for me, for the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to help out the channel, again, leave a comment, subscribe, maybe help me out monetarily with coffee.com/splgum. And a huge shout out and thank you to everyone who have supported me here, as well as the members of my channel for your continued support and generosity. It's 3:30 a.m. and I have not started with my gem count video. Oh boy. Wish me luck. I'll see you in the next one. Rawr.